Radhe Krishna, hi friends. Today I have come with another recipe to offer to Lord Krishna. It's called Akki Roti, and I am making this Akki Roti with methi leaves. So I have taken almost about fistful of a bunch, fistful of chopped methi leaves, which I am going to just add to the rice flour. And I have taken about 2 cups of rice flour. To this, I am going to add freshly half a fistful of freshly grated coconut, about 5 to 7 green chilies, about half a teaspoon of jeera, about half a teaspoon of roasted chana, and salt to taste. So let us just add all of these ingredients together. It's very simple to make. So this is done. Now we have the water. So I have taken the same quantity as the rice flour, and I've set it to boil. So you can see that it's nicely boiling. It has to come to a rolling boil. In the meantime, I want to show you the ingredients. So it's all nicely mixed well now, and you have this Akki Roti mixture ready here. Boiling. Now you have to add this to the mixture. Come clockwise. Whenever you are making prasadam, you cannot go anti-clockwise. So it's important that you are mixing everything in a clockwise direction. And one key thing to do now is to make sure that you are infusing this heat and moisture into the flour as you pour the hot water. I think this should suffice. A lot of people don't know how much water to add. Either they add too much or too little. If you add too little, then the roti becomes dry. If you add too much, then you will not be able to flip the roti. So the key thing is to make sure that you are taking the same amount of water as the rice flour and set it to boil. When you are boiling, part of it gets evaporated and only about almost 3/4 of it remains. And when you are transferring and you are mixing it simultaneously, you should make sure that there is these kind of lumps that get created, and there is still a bit of loose flour on the sides, like you are seeing here, that is still left. And there is still a bit of water that is remaining. I want to show you. There's still about 1/4 cup of water that is remaining. So you don't have to add this. Now this much moisture is enough. Now, why is this a rocket science? Why is this so complicated? It's simply because the different rice flour that you buy in different stores come from different parts of India and the world, and it's the ability of rice. It's rice's ability to absorb the moisture that dictates how much water is needed. So it's always a good trick to follow the steps that I just mentioned. And after adding hot water, I have kneaded the dough and I have taken a portion of it in a sort of like a cylindrical form like this. Now I'll show you how to tap this into a roti. So you have to just go like this in a circular motion and add a lot of flour to the rolling pad, otherwise it's going to stick to the surface. So always make sure that there is enough flour on the rolling pad. Now you have to bring it back into form and shape by doing this, and add a bit more flour, and make sure that you are not using the rolling pin until it is about 3 inches in diameter. So after which you have to use the rolling pin. And rolling pin usage also is very light and gentle. You have to not press like you press for chapatis. You have to just roll it. You have to just, as I'm showing you, to just roll it on top like that and keep rotating to maintain the shape of the roti. Now again you have to keep doing this action to make sure that the shape is retained and the edges are not broken. Now you will find that some parts are thick and some parts are thin. So again you have to tap along the surface to bring it all back into the same level. Now again you continue to roll. And every time you roll, all of the flour is gone from the surface of the rolling pad. So you have to keep adding rice flour, which is very important, otherwise it's going to stick to the surface and you will have to redo this entire exercise from the beginning again. There's no way to salvage this if it sticks to the surface. I'm just making a hole at the center so that it cooks well. Oil onto the surface of the roti so that the side that goes down and sticks to the pan actually starts cooking. If you don't do this, then the roti will not cook well and it will become very chewy and not soft. So it's carefully you have to lift this and transfer it onto the pan. Now again you have to oil the top surface with so this other surface is also nicely cooked, and this needs high flame, so make sure that your pan is nice and hot and the flame is at high level. So for my friends in the States, it should be between 7 and 8 when you are making this roti, not 9. So this is done. I'm going to now switch off the stove and fold it nicely and transfer it here. So this is how it's done.